Studio Place in the heart of Brentwood Gardens in Los Angeles, California. It's The Michelle Show, starring Michelle Murad.
Welcome to The Michelle Show. I'm Michelle Murad. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, welcome to our show. We are live here, 5 p.m. Pacific time, well, 5:05 p.m. Pacific time, here outside of Studio Place in Los Angeles, California. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I got the chat. I want to connect with you and see how your Monday is going. My Monday is going off to a great start. Today is September 11th, 2023. We're so happy you're outside the studio with me, Andy Waldman. We have a very special guest today, which I'm excited to talk about. But I also want to say today is a very special day to all those here in America. September 11th, as you know, was an epic day that changed many of our lives. So sending lots and lots of love to those that were affected by it. I know we were all affected by it, but those especially in New York, sending lots of love and condolences your way. You know this is the Feel Good Show here on Amazon Live. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. I already said that. We're everything, everywhere, all at once. And we're so happy you're here for along for the ride. Andy Waldman, shall we get into some hot topics? Please. Let's pull this up. This is from our friends over at Page 6. This is Lizzo dropping like it's hot. She's under some serious criticism for unleashing herself because she is, as you know, undergoing some cases. Listen, this is my opinion. I think she is allowed to live her best life until everything comes to the surface. Let her do her thing. Leave her alone. That's my opinion. Let's get out of that. Get out of that. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I want to connect with you and see how your Monday's going. Ladies, I hate to break it to you, and if you don't know this news, I'm breaking it to you. Chris Evans is officially off the market. Sorry, he's officially off the market. This is from my friend over at Page 6. Captain America, the first Avenger star, married Alba Baptista over the weekend. Congratulations. He also had that epic sweater in Knives Out. So if you're a Chris Evans fan, I'm so sorry to break the news to you. I think Kyle was really good friends with this guy like way back in the day, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Speaking of guys, Elon Musk, have you heard this? This is also from Page 6. Elon Musk believes people should have more children. However, if you are of a certain IQ status, the smarter you are, the more kids you have. This is what he's saying. He has, how many kids now, Andy? How many kids does Elon have? He might be the white Nick Cannon. I think he's the white Nick Cannon. Elon, you're a funny dude. X marks the spot. We got some big players in a little bit of hot water. As you know, the WGA is still on strike, and so are SAG-AFTRA, and so is SAG-AFTRA. And Drew Barrymore announced that she's returning, and she returned, I believe it was today, and let's just say people are not having it. Other people that are not having it for the morning talk shows, I believe our buddy Sherry Shepherd's set to go live, and I always, like, Jennifer Hudson is set to go live. Listen, if you are part of the union, do not go live. I have a feeling, do not do this. It just worries me. I'm a big fan of Sherry, so don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You know what else you shouldn't do? Kamala Harris was dancing at a hip-hop celebration party, and it's going viral. I mean, I didn't actually see the video. This is from my friend over at BuzzFeed, but look, take a look at her go, look at her go. Let's stick to, let's just stick to what your day job. Let's stick to the day job. This is crazy. This is brought to our friends over at People Magazine. A UK woman developed severe elephant skin rash for 10 months after allergic reaction to dental veneers. I'm a big believer, like, don't put anything in your body if you don't have to. Implants, just be careful, be safe out there. This is terrifying. Yeah, I mean, I was told to never get veneers. When I came to LA, my dentist said, whatever you do, everyone that goes into the entertainment industry gets veneers. He said, you wore your braces, keep them how they are, don't do it. I listened to you. I listened to the doctor. The doctor was right. The doctor was right. You know what wasn't right? Did you see this, Andy? Oh my gosh, this is at ABC, live show. This is at Yankee Stadium, severe storms in New York. Oh my gosh. caused flooding at Yankee Stadium on Saturday as fans tried to avoid wet areas before first pitch. Andy, did you hear about this? Did you see this? Wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the weather, but let's be kind to our planets. Take good care of it. We only have one. Yeah. Speaking of, let's pull this up. Look at this. What's bear gets dangerously close to people in Tennessee. Look at this man. He's like following the bear. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? He's getting closer and closer. Tennessee officials warned public to stay away from bears after video showed people dangerously close to one in downtown. I mean, everybody wants that video, that viral moments, but a lot of people are not looking at the fact there are consequences. This is a real bear, people. This is not like that thing that we saw. Was it in Japan with the man that looked like he was in a bear suit? Andy? I'm not quite sure, but listen, if you see a bear in the streets, do not get close. Leave it alone, people. That's just my personal opinion. Speaking of animals, Bob Barker's estate donated bulk of his TV host's money to 40 animal rights and military charities. I love Bob Barker. Look at him. The Price is Right. He's donating all that money to charity. The Price is Right host, longtime publicist, tells ET that the bulk. Oh, we know who that publicist is. Andy, you know who that is? Andy, you know who that is? Roger Neal. Roger, hey Roger, if you're watching, we'll have to get you on to talk about Bob. So yes, the publicist told ET that the bulk of Barker's estate will be donated to 40 animal rights and military charities. He died at 99 after a battle with Alzheimer's disease and was noted an animal lover and supported several charities behind the scenes. We love the Price is Right. I wanted to be, I wanted to be on The Price is Right, but I didn't get it. I got Let's Make a Deal instead. I love Wayne Brady. You know who else I love? Sarah Blakely. I love this so much, Sarah. If you don't know who Sarah Blakely is, make sure you follow her. She created Spanx. For all those women out there and everyone that wears Spanx, you did amazing things. But you know what else is amazing? Is her positive outlook. This is what she posted. This is my slogan. If I'm too much, maybe you're not enough. PSA from the Michelle Show. Thank you, Sarah Blakely. I'm a big fan. You know who else I'm a big fan of? This is my buddy Tia Mowry. She says there are so many people that are not making it to the age where their hair starts to gray. And so when I see my gray hair, it actually is a blessing because it means that, yes, I'm getting older and I'm still here. Listen, you look gorgeous, Tia. You look gorgeous. I'm such a fan. I'll always be a fan. You know what I'm not a fan of? Women slamming women. I can't do it. I can't get behind it. I never will. I just cannot do it. Amy Schumer is apparently going viral for her mean comments of Nicole Kidman. Listen, we learned this when we were in grade school, kindergarten. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Don't say it at all. I've got comments. Who is it? Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. How is your Monday treating you? I love Stephanie. Stephanie's one of my favorite guests. Stephanie, we're going to have to get you on the show. Listen, hey, if you are in the LA area, we invite you down. Oh, yeah, Stephanie, I'll give you like a link and you can call in one of these days. If you are in the LA area, we invite you down. This is a brand new show. It's only growing at massive speeds. We had an epic band. We had a performance last Friday, but the lovely Joe Sparrow. Make sure you watch the repeat of that. That is, you can see it on TikTok for all the funny moments. At _Michelle Show. We're at _Michelle Show on Instagram. We're on the Michelle Show on YouTube. We're everything, everywhere, all at once. You can follow me personally. I'm giving you that go ahead at Michelle A. Murad right there. You can hit that follow button. And if you DM me, you might get a reply. You may not. Depending on what it says. You know what is crazy? Look at this. Strong winds is from ABC News. Strong winds caused a small plane to flop over completely. Watch this. What? Oh my gosh. You see that? Do you see that? That's terrifying. Like this story last week that I told you about, how they had to do an emergency landing because there was explosive diarrhea, can I say this, on the plane they had it land, which was funny and terrifying all at the same time. You know what's amazing that's not terrifying? This is so great. This is from my friend over at People Magazine. Sisters are going to college alongside, I love this, their mom and grandma, and they said age is no deterrent in education. Let me tell you, age is no deterrent in anything you do. Let's like highlight that. It doesn't matter how old you are. If it's in your heart and you are passionate about it, go for it. Don't let anything stop you from living your dreams. I'm a big believer of that. Age is just a number. If it's in your heart, it's got to be part of your life some way, somehow. What doesn't have to be part of my life, this is ostriches run around the streets of Bolivia. What is happening? It's like, it's wild out there. We got the bears, we got the ostriches. This is going from our friends over at ABC News. On the run, 2 ostriches were seen running around the streets of La Paz, Bolivia. Does that mean peace, Andy? I think that means peace. The origin of the animals, of whether or not they were captured, was not immediately known. What I know is that I would be terrified, and I'm so glad I wasn't part of that. Get out of that, get out of that. We talked about Drew Barrymore. We talked about with morning TV. We talked about the bear. We talked about the flooding. We talked about the elephant rash. What else? We talked about Lizzo. We talked about my buddy Chris Evans. This is crazy. From People Magazine, 33-year-old woman, she dies of genetic disorder. Doctor said she was faking it. I smell a lawsuit. I smell a medical lawsuit, and I'm so sorry for this woman and her family. Listen, get the help that you need. Go to multiple people. Don't wait for one guy. That should be a dating slogan. Don't wait for one guy. Go to multiple people. You know who? Looking at me for. I love this. Speaking of one guy, Priyanka Chopra is Nick's biggest fan. I almost said Nick Cannon. Nick Jonas's biggest fan. As you know, the Jonas Brothers have been under, not the Jonas Brothers, but Joe Jonas has been under like fire lately. And he said, hey, if you don't hear it from these lips, don't believe it. Don't believe it, ladies. Don't believe it. And then I'll leave it with this. What you can believe is Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's second child's name is revealed. It's Riot Rose. Oh man, Riot Rose. How do we think about that? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Corey Poirier, all the way from Canada, right? I'm so excited. All the way from Canada. He is the founder of Blue Talks. He's a TEDx speaker. He's a big keynote guy. Like, listen, we're so excited to learn about his podcast and all great things. And he's here for a talk at UCLA, the Blue Talks. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Corey. tuning in for the very first time, we are live on Amazon. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. You name it, we're everything ever all at once. I am sitting with the lovely Poirier. How are you? I'm so glad to have you. Corey is a multiple TEDx talker. He is a talker speaker. You created Blue Talks, which we'll get into shortly. You're an author. You are like a keynote speaker. You're the guy that talks. Is that what your Instagram is? The speaker or the guy who talks? So yeah, that speaker guy. That speaker guy. You're also really good friends with one of our favorite people, Miss Sherry Elise. And you're from Canada, which I heard people from Canada are really lovely. So thanks for being on the show. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying that before we went live, that it's warmer here than it is in Canada. I mean, what's the weather difference?
It's hard because it's a difference between Fahrenheit and Celsius as well, so it's hard to convert the two.
Right.
I can tell you in the winter it goes down to like minus 25, minus 30.
Oh my gosh.
So
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. So to
That
put it in
sounds
perspective on
awful.
the cold side, I feel like in the summer we're about probably 70 to 85,
Okay.
give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, cool. Because, like 20 below is terrible. All right. How did you become that speaker guy? How did this all start for you?
That speaker guy part, it honestly started when somebody originally, the first time said, aren't you that speaker guy? And then I kind of went, there's something there. And then people kept saying that, yeah, I'll grab this.
Yeah.
People kept saying that, oh, so you're that speaker guy over and over again.
Yeah.
And finally I clued in and said, maybe there's a branding thing here.
That's smart. That's super smart.
But that's how that speaker guy started. But as far as how I got into speaking,
Yeah. How did you get into speaking?
ironically, I started years ago
Uh-huh.
performing stand-up comedy.
Oh, wow.
So I got tricked into stand-up comedy. I actually heard about this workshop. I
Yeah.
was terrified of the idea of being on a stage. which
Oh,
is ironic.
really?
Terrified.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went to this workshop because I had written a stage play.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to be a writer. I didn't know I wanted to be
Oh.
the actor. So we did this
Oh.
play. One of the actors hurt himself, and then I had to fill in because I was the only other person that knew the words.
Oh my gosh.
But I was terrified.
Yeah.
So I said to one of the actors, how do you think I can get over this?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'm going to this workshop at the university on comedy. You want to go? So
Wow.
I said, okay. And it was 2 weeks of here's how you adjust the mic stand. That was pretty much the training we got. And then so we went to a
How much did you
comedy
pay
club.
for that?
Thankfully, I think it was
Like a couple $100.
no, less than that.
Okay,
It was
okay,
like-
okay,
It was
okay.
like, I think, $50 for 2 weeks.
Oh,
It was
wow.
next to nothing.
Okay. Yeah, that really is.
And week 3, we were going to go to a club. I won't say a comedy club because
Okay.
we were turning it into a comedy club.
Uh-huh.
Where basically we were going to study other comics and then
Yeah.
talk about it later as
Uh-huh.
our third week of workshop. And we found out 5 minutes to showtime we were the entertainers.
What?
So that's how I say I got tricked. into
Wow,
performing stand-up comedy.
that's so fun. And then from there,
Well, I guess from there, for those that are familiar with the speaker named Tony Robbins,
Yep.
which I think most people are.
yes, I think most people are.
So Tony Robbins, I went and seen an event with Tony Robbins, and he was speaking. Person next to me said, "Can you believe that he's getting paid that kind of money to speak here?" And I
How
said,
much was he getting paid to speak
well,
at the
this
time?
person said at the time. Now, this
Okay,
is
at
somebody
the
in
time.
audience.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they said 150,000 or 200,000
Nice.
for like 45 minutes.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
I think most people can.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when I heard that, it was like they talk about the record scratch, like a record scratch moment of, whoa, wait a minute. I'm
Like,
paying money to drive to the comedy club.
Yes.
I'm getting $5 at the door.
Wow.
This guy's getting paid 100 and some thousand to speak. And I said, maybe that's where I should be. And so I didn't realize that existed as an
Uh-huh.
option.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short from there, basically once I knew that was an option, I continued doing comedy, like 9 years, 700 shows.
Wow.
But I ended up also getting into speaking, and the rest, I guess, as they say, is history.
Wow, I love that. So the stage was calling you, and you said yes. And then tell me about Blue Talks and what that is and how people can get involved. I know you're doing a Blue Talks at UCLA, my lovely alma mater, professional program alma mater, because they have two different programs. They have, like the grad program, the undergrad program, and then the professional program for those that are already currently working. And I was there for acting, writing, and producing. I actually get to go back October 30th. I'm so excited to talk. So tell me about this, how this happened at UCLA. What's going on at UCLA?
So, okay, UCLA on this Thursday and Friday, the 14th and 15th.
Yes.
We are running 2 back-to-back days of Blue Talks, and essentially we've did one earlier this year, and we're going back.
Wow.
So during those 2 days, we'll have probably in the neighborhood of about 15 speakers.
Wow.
Think of TED Talks, and
There it
it's
is.
like, yeah, there it is. And you think of like TED Talks, 18-minute talks. Ours are 20.
Great.
So that's how you can fit so many people in.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, this time, as it was shown on the screen,
Yeah.
we have some special guests. So we have Dave Hester from Storage Wars.
Oh,
You remember
fun.
the Yup
Yeah.
guy.
I don't know Storage Wars, but
He's the guy that like they were always bidding, and every time he wanted to bid, he would
so
go, Yup.
fun. Oh, so fun.
Yeah, so he's going to be there. And then Dave Thomas, who's an actor who was in Coneheads and a bunch of other movies.
Fun.
So we're bringing in some special guests because it is LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be out of UCLA, 2 days. The coolest part to me is it's absolutely free to attend as well.
Wow. How do you make that happen?
From our perspective, we basically build it, I guess we'll call it on the front end. So
Okay.
anything as far as revenue takes place before we ever get there.
Oh, wow.
And so when a person signs up, it's completely free. They can come and go as they please. And they're essentially going to come and see 20-minute talks, powerful speakers,
Right.
hopefully stories that can change their life.
Wow. Cool. I'm excited. I think this is a clip of like a Blue Talk or just like a reel of your stuff.
Yeah, that's actually Tasia Valenza. She's an Emmy-winning voiceover artist based right here in
Wow.
Hollywood. We're going to have
Oh.
supper with her tomorrow night.
Oh, nice. Hey, Tasia, if you're watching. Probably not, but hello if you end up watching this. Super cool. I love that. So tell me more about Blue Talks. Like, how did that start and all that great stuff?
So interestingly enough, this is a side note.
Okay, side
Just
note.
side-
We can follow. So sidebar.
So as a sidebar, just to drop the news that my fourth TED Talk literally went live 2 hours ago.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't saying it for like a, hey, look at me. But
No.
and it's about how schools can inspire purpose earlier in life.
I love that, yes.
So that just went live, and I'm using that as a segue to say how Blue Talks got started is I had people coming to me saying, I wish there was a spiritual TEDx stage.
Oh.
Because TED Talks typically aren't spiritual. It's
Right.
more about the idea that
Right.
can change the world.
Right.
And so people were asking me for that and saying, I wish there was that, and I wish there was somebody that could help speakers learn the craft of speaking
Yeah, for sure.
and share their talks on stages. So those two groups of people made me eventually realize there's something here.
For sure.
And so the idea with Blue Talks is I'll say it on the front and the back. On the front end, it's obviously for people coming to watch talks, to see magical talks, all that kind of stuff. On the back end, it's a totally different thing. So on the back end, we actually help experts
That's amazing.
get more platforms and more stages.
I love that. I love that so much. We got somebody in chat saying, "Hi, Dave Hester, big fan. Did they see comments? Yes, we see comments."
That's amazing. Well, come and check them out because again,
Yes.
it's free. And what we're doing with Dave, I'm working on a documentary, and it's an exclusive
Wow.
interview for the documentary.
So cool.
Only place you can ever see it live will be Friday.
Wow. And talk to me. How did that collaboration happen with UCLA? I mean, if you're in Canada, how did that happen? How does that happen?
Well, with Blue Talks, essentially, again, we try to give people and speakers and experts different stages. So we basically bring the event almost like TED Talks again.
Yeah.
The difference is TED Talks is run locally by the local organizer.
Okay.
We run the event, so we bring it to the places.
Okay, great.
So the idea with Blue Talks is we wanted it to be a traveling event series.
So cool.
And so, yeah, we've been to UCLA now. This will be the second time. Been to Harvard, Columbia,
so
Cambridge.
fun. I want to be part of the traveling team, the traveling talking team.
We should bring you on to do some
Yes,
interviews.
I would love that. I would love that. Or like introduce everyone. I would love that. It's so fun. I am the girl I'm that speaker girl. How about that?
I
Can
love
I
it.
take that IG handle? I love that. That speaker guy. Super fun. You're also an author. How many books have you written?
So there's a two-part answer to that. 'Cause
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
When
well,
do you sleep is the real question.
I get that a lot, actually.
Oh, when do you sleep?
Yeah, and
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
And I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh
which
my gosh.
compounds all this stuff.
Oh.
But as far as books,
Are they big speakers?
the youngest one, we got him a shirt that said motivational speaker in the making. And the best part was we didn't get the shirt made. We actually bought it somewhere.
Oh, that's great.
So I have a
love
shirt
that.
that says motivational speaker, and he does too.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, so on the book side, there's two sides to that. There's
Yeah.
the publishing, and then there's the writing. So on the publishing side, we put out 11 Blue Talks books.
Wow, so cool.
And those are anthology where we have
Wow.
multiple authors. But then I've co-written and written about 19 or 20.
Wow, what?
I know it's a little
About
bit.
19 or 20, no big deal.
But having said that, within that there's compilation books. There's books that are like about speaking and stuff.
Still amazing.
But
so cool.
the one book that I put out with a publisher, Morgan James Publishing, is called The Book of Why and How.
Oh, yes, I saw that in my little quick Google search. The Book of Why and How. Talk to me about that book.
Well, again, interesting about the new TED Talk is it's really the same premise. So the TED Talk is about what if we were able to, like people always say, why don't we teach this crap in school?
Yeah,
and it's
right?
kind of true. So what if we were to have a life course where we taught people at least the premise of how to find a passion or a purpose in life?
Yes.
And the book is about how to find your why, which is really the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the book basically takes you through some exercises and strategies and methods I used for finding my why earlier in life.
Yeah.
And then
how did you find your why?
So interestingly enough, it's from that stand-up comedy. You know, when I said I went and did that stand-up comedy thing. So I went and performed that night. I didn't share this part.
Oh, you didn't. That's why I asked.
Well, I went that night and I was the first guy on stage. And of all those people,
were you nervous?
Oh, terrified.
Yeah.
And
Were you like sweating?
I was.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't walk on the stage. So people always say, "Why did you bother?" And I had this.
Why
vision.
wouldn't you bother?
Yeah, well, it was one of these things that on one hand I was terrified and I didn't want to be a speaker or on the stage. On the other hand, I visualized these two old men, and I was one of them, sitting at the stage. And the idea was I was looking at other people, like years in the future, and they were performing, and I'm like, I could have done that. And so it was the regret, the thought of having that regret.
I love that.
So it was a vision.
I love that, the thought of having regret. Regret is so powerful.
It is, and so what I did was I went on the stage. This is this is what I did wrong.
Okay.
I went on the stage and I grabbed the mic, and I launched into two jokes, only to find out that the mic wasn't turned on yet.
Oh.
So I bombed, as we call it in comedy.
Oh no! I think you bomb when you bomb, but the mic wasn't on. Did you see Beyonce had that same problem too? Audio was off, but she still performed. Did you say your jokes?
I did.
Oh, so there you go.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know the mic was off.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then here's the part.
Were you waiting for laughs?
Yeah, that didn't come. And then the guy that got us into this called me over the corner of the stage. He gave me a smuck, and he said, "You idiot, the mic's not even on yet."
Oh.
So we did turn the mic back. We did turn the mic on, and I told the two jokes, and they bombed again.
Oh.
So I say I'm the only comedian I know to bomb twice in 10 minutes with the same material.
That's amazing.
So that's how I found my why, though, because I went, and I didn't die that night on the stage. So I went back the week after.
I love that.
The
mic wasn't on, but then you went and did it again, and then you bombed. You legitimately bombed.
And I went back the next
What were
week.
the jokes? Do we know? Do you remember?
I know it was about when I was driving across the country. So I had moved across from Canada, the western part to the eastern.
Yeah.
And it was a bit about like the different things that happened along the way. But honestly, it was bad material.
Okay.
Like I thought it was the best joke I'd ever written in my life.
Aw.
As comics do. But it was bad. It was like, I can't remember the premise, but it was something like about a moose running into the car and hitting us.
That seems like a Canadian thing to do.
Yeah, it does.
Right? It happens often?
I don't think it happens where they ram into your car, but I can't even remember how the joke went, but it was something to do with that, and it was something to do with we were traveling through Montreal.
Oh, wow.
And we can't speak French.
Right, you said that. And
Yeah.
your last name is French, so
Both sides of my family.
So both sides, do they speak French?
My grandfathers did, and it stopped there.
Aw.
My grandmother's never learned,
They never wanted to teach you how to speak French?
and it just
Wow,
it
you
just
didn't
got
ask.
lost.
You weren't like, teach me. No.
Well, of course, by the time I realized that, it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't too old, but
Yeah.
it was just like then I'm like,
Yeah, might as well learn it in school, basically.
yeah. And where I live, ironically, there's almost nobody that speaks French in the city.
Oh,
So you
wild.
never run into people anyway.
Wild.
So when we went to Montreal, it was like we were trying to ask where the bathroom was,
Uh-huh.
and
What would you say?
well, they couldn't tell us where the bathroom was, and we couldn't find it. And so I did this bit about that. It was something to do with that. So I remember the jokes were both about traveling and how I had to run across the street needing the bathroom. It was bad material. It deserved a bomb.
Oh, well, I think we are our worst critics. But you were always destined for the stage, which is super cool, and it's really fun that you're doing this, the Blue Talks, especially at UCLA. You can see it on our screen right over here. This is Blue Talks, right? What I'm looking at. Super exciting. What is next? I know you have your talks, but I know those wheels. I barely know you, but what I'm getting is there's something in the works. What's in the works?
Honestly, there's as we said,
Yes.
multiple things.
Yeah. What do you got?
So I'm working on a documentary behind the scenes. I haven't been hiding sharing it, but it's kind of just an unannounced thing.
Yeah.
But it's basically called the Time Machine Question.
Very cool.
And I've interviewed thousands of people.
What's the time machine question?
It's basically if you could jump into a time machine,
Yeah.
go back and talk to your younger self,
Okay.
give her or him some life advice.
You must watch my show.
Is that a question you asked?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I say, what do you say to your 7-year-old self? And then what do you say to your 70-year-old self?
Oh, I love that. That's a unique perspective.
Yeah.
So mine gives them any age.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
The idea is a lot of times during the interview, we'll talk about how they maybe were left, they were put up for adoption.
Yeah.
So they usually pick the timeline of when it is.
Yeah.
So I always say, you pick the timeline.
Right.
And then the follow-up sometimes is, would you get in the time machine?
Ooh,
And
yes.
it's interesting to see who would.
Oh, really?
A lot of people would.
I would totally do it.
Do you know
do
who
I
Dr.
come back?
Joe Vitale is?
Yes, of course.
So Joe Vitale said, not only would I get in the time machine, I've been trying to buy one.
I love Joe Vitale. He's great. Somebody says, can you tell me a joke in a British accent? What
Probably
he's not doing joke. Well, yeah. Do you insert comedy? I feel like you're a super fun guy. Like,
Yeah,
is there comedy in the Blue Talks? Like, or I mean, you have what's the person from Coneds? Like, I feel like that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Thomas. He's from. If you ever heard of SCTV, which was Second City.
Yeah.
Second City's
Oh,
a
yeah,
comedy
yeah,
club.
yeah. Isn't that
Second City TV?
Wait?
It
Is
was
Second City with
like Dan
Schitt's
Aykroyd.
Creek guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
Mike Myers, Dan Aykroyd.
Very cool,
So he
very
was
cool.
one of that crew.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, so I insert comedy now, but it's a different approach. Now it's more winging it. Like it's not like set up material.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
comedy,
I feel
stand-up.
like that's the funniest stuff too. It's where it's just like in the moment and you're just,
Well, that mic, not having the mic turned on.
Yes.
That's become a part of my talk.
I love that.
Like I started out saying, how many people here would jump on a comedy stage if I could get you a gig?
Yeah.
And then I say, let me tell you about my first time.
Oh, God.
And then I finish with the mic not turned on, and I'll say it this way, it almost always goes over well.
I love that. I'm actually working on material right now and I'm like, is this funny? Like I even threw it at Andy and he was just like, that's not funny.
That's the thing, you have to test comedy. Like
Yeah.
there's no way to get around. You can't. Every now and then you go, I know this is funny, and it is funny.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you go, I think this is funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a comedian. It's more of like I find comedy in the everyday situations. So I'm a comedy writer, script-wise, but super, super, super cool. All right, so you got the documentary. What else is going on?
So the documentary, that's going to be fun. We got a lot of really big names in it, which is
So
cool.
fun.
The other thing that I'm working on is a book called, and again, this is super preliminary, it's called The Enlightened Passenger.
Very cool.
And it's basically old guy, young guy sitting on a plane. And it's essentially the old guy ends up sitting next to the young guy who actually paid to not have anybody sitting next to him.
Oh.
And he goes to sleep and he wakes up and the old guy's sitting next to him and he said they bumped me because there were no other seats.
Yeah.
And then ultimately the old guy ends up teaching the young guy life lessons.
Oh.
But there's a whole bunch of twists and turns.
I
within
love that. That sounds like something I too am working on. There must be something about the planes in the air.
100%. Yeah, and I travel a lot, so maybe
Yes.
that's why
Yeah.
that kind of came to life. But yeah, I'm super stoked about that book series, and I call it a series because I got so pumped by putting it together
That's
that I couldn't
awesome.
stop writing. So
Wow.
there's three written, and I haven't even talked to a
Amazing.
publisher yet.
Wow. Get ready because they're going to be very excited. So you're doing that. What else? I feel like there's more.
I'm going to be focusing now that. So the thing with TED Talks, they don't tell you when it's going to be released.
Ah.
So I only did the talk last month.
Okay.
And I
Where
figured-
was it? Canada?
Denver.
Oh, Denver. Cool.
And I figured it was going to be like they said. I said, "How long do you think?" And they said 2 weeks to 6 months.
Yeah.
So it could have been any time.
And then?
It just dropped today.
Amazing.
Now, that's
Did you
good.
see it? Did you see it?
I've watched it once.
Okay. How do we feel?
Good. I mean,
Good,
there's a
but-
backstory.
Okay. What's the backstory?
So, but I'll tell you as far as the
Mike
talk,
was not on? Mike was
Mike
on.
was on.
Okay. Good.
But I'm gonna dive into launch mode soon.
Okay.
But I couldn't do the launch until the talk was out. But you don't know when the talk's gonna come out.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, it's tough because you can't plan a launch.
Right.
So that's what I got to move into. So that's going to be coming up. The backstory
cool.
is that I was in Denver.
Uh-huh.
I was dealing with massive stomach pain
Okay.
before the talk.
Oh no.
And-
nerves or something you ate?
No, I'm gluten intolerant.
Oh,
Like,
me too.
it's-
Me too. All the best are.
Yeah, and it's like for me, it's like I don't know how intense it is. Like I don't know if it's like just crumbs or not.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh.
know. But I went to England, so somebody said British accent, and I ate some fish and chips, and I think they served me gluten fish and chips.
No.
Because they told me they looked the same.
Oh,
and
do
I
they?
think I got the wrong one.
Oh, no.
So I was in pain for 2 weeks. That was
Oh,
the
my-
longest ever.
2
weeks,
weeks.
no joke. And it subsided. This is interesting. The morning of my TEDx, but the night before,
Wow.
even when I was there, I was still in
Oh,
pain.
were you thinking of even canceling?
No.
Good for
that's
you.
not me.
Oh, okay.
But here's what's wild. The day when I did my TED Talk, it was Denver, as I said.
Yeah.
And the elevation's different, and I don't know what happened. No matter how much water I drank,
Yeah.
I was like, my face was sucking inwards, dry-wise.
Oh my
so I did my
gosh.
talk, and halfway through my talk, I feel like my mouth going inwards.
No.
And I thought, is that what's coming out? Like,
Oh, God.
are they hearing what I'm hearing? And so it was like everything that could go up against you
Weird.
went up against me.
Yeah, but you still seem to go right through and do fine.
I mean, when I watch it now, it seems fine. The only thing that happened is, and this wasn't anything I did, but I guess the guy filming it said, hold on, before I started,
Oh.
and nobody heard him.
Oh, no.
So I started, and then afterward, he had to refilm my first minute.
I feel like this is a running theme in your life.
Yeah, so I guess the mic wasn't turned on.
The mic wasn't turning on. They weren't ready for you. You were ready.
Yeah, and the downside is something I said every time I did it, and at the original, it got laughter.
Yeah.
But when we redid it, there was only like 8 people there.
Oh my
so I
gosh.
lost my laugh track.
Oh, you lost your laugh track.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying hi to you on Amazon Live.
everyone.
Yeah, super, super cool. Oh my gosh, I just feel it's fun to be alongside a fellow creative. I mean, that's what we do here at Studio Place. So a special shout out to Studio Place for producing this show. We produce a ton of other shows too. We also have a kids talk show workshop, which is super fun, which I'll show you when we wrap here. But so fun. That speaker guy. I want you to tell everyone how they can connect with you, how they can come to see Blue Talks, and all that great stuff. You've got so many great things I want to share with everyone that's watching.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome
And,
so much.
I'll say, so the easy answer, Michelle, in terms of how, if they want to go to Blue Talks this week, I mean,
Okay.
only a couple of days away, and you're watching
Yes.
live, and you want to come and see.
In LA, if we were watching live in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can fly here if you want.
Yes,
But
fly here.
If you want.
Be part of the show. Yeah.
100%. I'm going to give you the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
Is simply Blue Talks LA.
BlueTalksLA.com. That's
It's
super easy.
Easy. And then the second part you had said about connecting with me.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest place is Corey Poirier Media.
What is it?
Corey
Corey
Poirier
Poirier.
Media.
Can you spell that for our friends that are watching?
Yes, I can. .com, by the way.
Okay.
So it's Corey.
Yep.
I speak fast, by the way. That's a Canadian
No,
thing
no,
too.
that's great.
So Corey Poirier, and that's P as in Peter.
Okay.
And then media, just the word media.com.
Ah, Corey Poirier. Yay. This has been so fun. I love that you're doing so much great stuff. The Blue Talks, I want to come see the Blue Talks. Listen, if you're in the LA area, make sure to come and check it out at UCLA. Are you going to be talking?
Yes.
Of course. That's that speaker guy. I mean, I just want to make sure.
I am. Yeah, I'm excited too because it's going to be, well, I'm interviewing. I usually do the interview, so I'm
Okay.
interviewing both Daves.
Super fun.
One Dave is going to be there via Zoom because he hurt his leg.
Oh,
That's
no.
Dave Thomas.
How? Do we know? We don't know the
I
story?
Can't remember.
Okay.
He mentioned it in passing, but I can't remember.
It's
But
all good, it's
Dave
all
Hester's
good.
going to be there live.
Okay.
But I'm going to be speaking about 2 things. One, I'm going to share how I landed my 4 TED Talks. 'Cause
Nice.
People always ask me that.
Yeah, I didn't ask you that. How?
Well, so the other thing I'm going to talk about.
Oh,
is
you're
just-
going to answer that at the talks. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I won't give it away.
No, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But the other thing I'm going to talk about, which is going to be fun, is over the years, I've done a lot of interviews. I've been able to secure interviews with people that I've looked up to my whole life.
Awesome.
And people always
Such
ask me
as?
how. Let's see who I could name drop.
Name drop away. We love it. We're in LA.
Deepak Chopra.
Oh, that's cool.
Gary Vee.
Oh,
Gary Vee.
yes, of course.
Tommy Chong from Cheech
I
and
don't
Chong.
know. Yeah.
Cheech
Oh,
and
isn't
Chong.
he like 80 years old now?
84, I think.
84. Wow.
John Taffer from Bar Rescue.
No.
It's a reality show.
Okay.
Who else? Lisa Nichols. Do you know The Secret?
Oh, yeah.
Oprah.
Oh, so cool.
Les Brown, the legendary speaker.
Of course,
Jack
very
Canfield,
cool.
late Bob
Oh,
Fosse.
I love Jack Canfield. Oh, Bob.
Yeah, Bob
oh,
is amazing.
I felt like I knew him even though I never met him.
Oh, he's the real deal.
Aw.
We did an interview outside his place. He lived in Toronto.
Wow.
And this is one of the biggest moments of my life is I got to hold his 57-year-old copy of Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
And look through it, and the pages were falling off.
Wow.
So I've been
Super
fortunate.
cool.
And people always ask me how, and so I'm literally going to reveal, and it's quick. I'm going to do a 10-minute
Okay.
talk revealing the multiple short secrets of how
Uh-huh.
I started that process.
Yeah.
The TED Talk thing, it would be a long way to say how.
Okay.
In terms of going into detail. So I'll give you the quick
Yeah,
answer.
give me the quick
If
answer.
somebody wants the shortcut to landing a TED Talk, and I'll say this is for most things in life,
Uh-huh.
is you have to recognize that there are people behind the organizing of the event. So
What do you
what
mean?
most people do is they go on the website
Yeah.
for TED,
Yeah.
and they nominate themselves, and they
Uh-huh.
just fill out the questions, and then they go submit, and cross their fingers.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you have to find out who the organizers are,
Ah.
get on their radar, build a relationship.
Yes. You're a relationship guy too.
Yes.
We're all about that.
And then when you submit it, then they go, oh, Michelle, I know her.
Yes.
And they're looking at yours closely.
Yes.
And then the other 2,000 are like, I don't have time really to
Right.
look at those.
Right.
So it's all about, building that relationship.
For sure.
So that's the secret to TEDx.
The secret to TEDx is building a relationship. I feel like that's a secret for everything really, is building relationships, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like the guy on the plane, he just wanted to fall asleep, but he could have missed out on one of the biggest opportunities of his life.
And he actually probably wanted to miss out on that opportunity. He literally didn't want a passenger. But what happened, so I'll give you this part in the book. What happens is, I describe him as a Wayne Dyer-esque type person, the older guy.
I love Wayne Dyer.
And he's like, he's got his head shaved.
Yeah,
and he's just wise. And so the reason the young guy puts up with it, I'll call it that, is because the old guy starts talking about life, and he recognizes the old guy has become wealthy. Now, the old guy meant wealthy both financially and personally.
Yes.
But the young guy heard wealthy financially, and he's like, what can I pull out of this guy so that I can become wealthy? So that's why he would put up with it, because the young guy's like a business person that's like almost like, you're wasting my time.
Right.
Go. And the old guy is able to teach him some life lessons. That's, so he wouldn't, I don't think he wanted to be there. He said like, what he'd miss out on, he wanted to miss out on that conversation.
Well, you never know who you're gonna meet, especially on this show. I'm so grateful that you're here, Corey. Make sure you check out Corey Poirier and all the amazing things he's doing. Again, if you're in LA, make sure you check out Blue Talks. And you gave out your information. That speaker guy on Instagram is the quickest way. And somebody just said do a backflip. I'm not going to do that. Thank you so much, Corey, for being here. Listen, we invite you down. This is a brand new show here outside of Studio Place in Brentwood Gardens. We're in LA. You're more than welcome to be part of the show. We got epic performers coming in this week. We will see you guys live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And have a great rest of your day and stay weird. Bye, guys.